message, Be Shrewd. Last week we began talking about the parables of Jesus. Some years ago I had the opportunity to preach at a youth conference, and there was all these different churches there, and I wanted to get the kids excited. So I asked each youth group to send one representative, their best athlete, their fittest youngster, to represent their church in a push-up competition. And so the church from Westminster, they sent their guy, Westminster, the Moval guys, they're throwing up gang signs at church like they do. And they're coming in, and the Riverside guys were there, and the Rubino guys were there, and they had some guys from out of town coming. Each group was cheering their guy on. I said, are you guys ready? Yeah! And some of the guys were military grade. Some of the guys were PE junior high grade. Who can do 50? And some guys were dropping out and they're cheering, the place is going nuts. Who can do 100? And the winning guy, he was sweating bullets. He kind of wrecked his new shirt. He was going for it. He went about for 4 or 5 minutes, and finally he won. Everybody cheered for him. And I said, and your prize is? And then I gave him a box of Good and Plenty and a thing of black licorice. Nobody likes Good and Plenty and black licorice. If you eat Good and Plenty and black licorice together, you might be a sociopath. No. Everybody looked at me and go, what is this? And he was disgusted at the prize. And he goes, what is this? I just worked hard. I wrecked my shirt, and this is what you give me? And I say, here's the lesson. You better know what you're getting before you do all the work. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Try and figure out the meaning of this parable, because it is difficult. In Luke chapter 16, William Barclay, the great Bible commentary, he says that this is the most difficult of all the parables to understand what Jesus is talking about. There was a very wealthy man, and he had this steward, this manager that took care of everything in his house, that bought all the groceries, that oversaw all the businesses, that kept the books, that kept the accounts, that kept all the other servants in order. And this manager was derelict. He was lazy. He was taking advantage of the owner trusting him with everything. The books weren't kept. There was outstanding debts all over the place. The servants weren't doing their job. Everybody was slacking off. And then the master hears rumors that his manager is doing a terrible job. And he calls him in and says, listen, in a couple of days, I'm going to dust off the books myself, and I'm going to find out what kind of job you've been doing for me. And the manager goes, gulp, I'm in big trouble. And so right away, he goes to a store that owed him 100 bushels of wheat. He says, you owe 100 bushels? I'll make you a deal. Pay me 80 right now. And the guy goes, I like you. And he goes, well, if I ever need a job, you think I can get a job with you? He goes, yeah, all right. And then he goes over to the wine press that owed 100 gallons of wine, even more than that. And he says, hey, let's cut the debt in half. Pay me 50 right now. He goes, yeah, I'll pay 50 and clear the debt. And he says, hey, that's a good deal. Hey, if I ever need a job, can I get a job with you? He goes, yeah, you can get a job with us. Because the shrewd manager thought to himself, I'm too old to dig ditches, and I'm too proud to beg. What am I going to do if I lose this job? But when the owner looked at the books, and he said, wow, you've been busy. Hey, fantastic, you've been making all these deals. You're a really good manager. What's the point of this story? Jesus tells it in Luke chapter 16. Look how it commentates in verse 8. And the Lord commended the unjust servant because he acted wisely. Why are the children of this world in their generation so much wiser than the children of light? Why is the world so much smarter than the church? Why are the wicked so much more cunning and so much more aggressive than the Christians? Make yourselves friends of mammon, of unrighteousness, that if you fall, at least they can receive you. Amen. Verse 10. Hallelujah. He that is faithful in the least will be faithful in much. He that is unjust in the least will be unjust in much. It's almost as if Luke doesn't know what the message is in verse 11. And if therefore you've been faithful with the unrighteous mammon, then commit your trust to true riches. He that's faithful with another man's will be given his own. No man can serve two masters. You'll love one and you'll hate the other. What's the point of the story? The point of the story could be that we have to be wise. We have to know the right time to quit some things. We got to know the right time to get more involved in things. We got to act now that we might make lasting impressions. What's the old saying? If you're in an inch, you're in for a mile. What's the old expression? There ain't no halfway crooks. If you're in a little bit, you're in all the way. There ain't no little bit prego. If you're a little bit pregnant, you're all pregnant. I remember the day I showed my mom a tattoo. She was not proud of me that day.